Welcome back to another episode of Real Estate Reactions. I'm Tyler Miller.
And I'm Brady Holland.
So Brady and I thought it'd be fun to kind of react to some articles weekly in the real estate world. I think a lot of us sit down and we watch the news every night and react to those headlines. And to me, that's not very fun because it's usually negative and boring. Real
Yeah,
estate's kind
most
of
of
fun,
the time.
Brady. So, there's always some new little take on what's going on in the market or just in our industry in general, and thought we would just react to it. So, Brady, I know you got a juicy one that you want to share this morning.
Yeah, I want to talk about Zillow came out with their 2025 predictions for the housing market,
Ooh,
and their keyword is bumpy. And Tyler, I just want to
bumpy.
get your reaction on them saying it's going to be bumpy. What do you think about that?
I'm so scared right now. I'm freaking out. Yeah, I just, I wish I could like write articles for a living because it's just so fun to like throw little buzzwords or things that make you click. Me and you both clicked on this article
Yeah,
because that's like bumpy. Wait a minute.
what does that mean?
And so, Brady, I think, you can explain the article a little bit, but my take on it initially is I don't disagree. I think that we're coming off of the worst 2 years in real estate in a row since pre 2008. I mean, it's been the lowest amount of sales in the last 2 years, back to back. And so, if anybody expected the market to just be like sunshine and rainbows, I guess I'd be telling them I don't know what they're doing. So this didn't necessarily surprise me, and I agree with a lot of it.
Yeah,
Why don't you tell us a little bit about the article?
yeah, no, it's definitely, I mean, you nailed it, right? The last 2 years have been bumpy. Like it's gonna continue to be bumpy, but I think these bumps aren't gonna be as big as the bumps we've seen in the last 2 years. Uh,
Mhm.
people have been talking about rates. Rates are high. That's the big thing people have been talking about. And I know you and me were talking about Trump's proposed 25% tariffs, right? And what these economists are saying is that these tariffs, impact the economy with higher inflation, right? And as we
And
both,
can. They don't always,
right?
but this paragraph right here is just saying that economists consider tariffs to be a large recipe for reigniting inflation, which remains to be seen. I mean, Trump, when he was in office last time, had tariffs in place and inflation was at basically an all-time low. I know that was
Mhm.
partially due to COVID, but
Yep.
my point is it doesn't always. But anyways, continue.
Well, and you and me both know, if inflation continues to be higher and higher, the Fed's going to hold off cutting rates. So we talked about, rates coming down this next year, and I still think they're going to come down.
Mhm.
But I just don't think they're going to get as low as we kind of predicted even 2 weeks ago.
Yeah.
What are you thinking about, where rates are after kind of seeing some of these articles?
I mean, rates today are holding steady right around that 7% mark again, I believe. I just looked this morning.
Yep.
Obviously, it depends on lots of different things, but that's the average. And I just think, God, we've been saying, I feel like ever since COVID, we keep saying every year, the new normal. This is the new normal. But like I feel like we've lived like four different lives since COVID.
Yep.
And hey, you've only been in the industry for around 2 years now.
Yeah.
Is it just over two now?
Just over two now. Yeah.
So like you've only known a bumpy market. So for you, it might feel like sunshine and rainbows this year. I don't know. But like I think you are a great example of like, well, you adjusted to like whatever the norm is, right? And
Yep.
you've had a successful career so far. And I think that buyers and sellers have started to do the same, where they're just like, okay, yes, rates are higher, but the benefit is home prices are being held down. And so it's like, if you get a low rate at a high price or a high rate at a low price, the monthly payments are relatively going to be around the same. And I think most people just think, I'm not going to put my life on hold for another couple of years while we rebound from our high inflation market to then move like 4 years down the road. If somebody needs to move now, they're going to move.
Yep. 100%. Well, and I
So,
also think
oh, sorry, go
with,
ahead.
I was just gonna say with a bumpy market, and I think people are starting to realize this, and agents need to start like educating that in this bumpy market, you need to have an expert on your side. Otherwise, you're gonna get lost because it is very unique. And like Tyler said, I only know this bumpy market. So having people on your side to help you get to that finish line is going to be pivotal in 2025.
It's like we planned this segue, but we didn't. But can you stop sharing your screen so I can share mine now?
Yeah.
So speaking of agents having to educate and having experts on your side, does everybody here like lawsuits? Let's get into it. Let's get into it. So look at this one, Brady. If you thought Bumpy was a scary title,
Let's
as the
get another
NAR
lawsuit.
settlement wins approval, Batten 2 commission lawsuit grows. Dun dun dun. So, for those of you who are unaware, it was like yesterday or a couple days ago, the whole settlement with Burnett Sitzer and the sellers suing all the real estate brokerages that got settled. It sounds like there may be an appeal on it. I don't know. I'm not smart enough to understand all those things, but it settled and it's like, yay, everybody's good. And then it's like, no. Every single person I've talked to for the last 2 years has said this will be the first of many lawsuits. And this article is an example of that probably being correct, which is there's another lawsuit now that is gaining some steam. And it's this time home buyers suing the National Association of Realtors. Poor NAR. It's getting just destroyed. So home buyers are putting a class action lawsuit together because they feel that they were paying inflated home prices because their agent they were working with, the buyer's agent, advertised their services as free. And as we all know, Brady, we don't work for free, right?
Mhm.
But I think a lot of realtors were guilty of this, saying, oh yeah, like, it's included, don't worry about it, it'll get taken care of. And what that means is it's included in the sale price. And so the home buyers are like, well, wait a second, if your services were, let's say, just 3% on a $300,000 house, that's $9,000. If I didn't work with you, I would have saved 9 grand, right? Correct. But that's not the way it was being explained. It was being explained, well, no, it's free, it's included. And so, anyways, what are your thoughts on this one?
Well, my head goes in so many different directions, right?
Mhm.
Because we've talked about it. In reality, right, buyers are kind of paying both agents. They're the ones bringing the money to closing, right? So it's like there's that argument there, but it comes back to education, right? I
Mhm.
just said it, right? We have to make sure we're educating our clients because there is a bumpy market. And if you think you can save $9,000 by working with yourself or working with the listing agent, you might be in for a rude awakening, right?
Mhm.
Working with a listing agent or unrepresented, you have a lot more risk. You're not getting represented by somebody, and you could lose way more than just 3% of the sale price. You could
Yeah.
overpay by 10% and not even know it.
Well,
That's where those experts come in.
and on top of all this too, like we've been in a seller's market for 5 years.
Yeah.
It's more than likely not going to be a seller's market this next year. Like overall, there's going to be weeks where it's hot and
Yep.
whatever. But I think overall, it's going to be a very balanced market. It might even lean into buyer market in certain areas, depending on how inflation and rates go. But like if like now is the time that a buyer is going to start to feel like, well, do I need an agent because I have some power now, right? And that's it's all just because the bar is here in real estate, and most
Mhm.
agents don't explain anything. They just show them the house. The buyer tells them, here's what I want the offer to be. They write it up and then they meet them at closing. And it's like, yeah, that's not worth $9,000 at all. And so this is just another example of, hey guys, us as realtors, we have to show our worth and we have to earn our commission. And the ones that aren't are going to continue to get out of the industry. We've seen a big decline in agents just over the last year leaving the industry, and it's going to continue because it's going to be bumpy and there's lawsuits and people don't know how to show value. And so it's just, as an agent, it's so important right now to make sure that you explain how you benefit a buyer. And if when a buyer asks you that question, Brady, and you can't answer it,
You're gonna lose.
you might not be in the industry long. You know what I
Mhm.
mean?
It's
So
we talk about it all the time. That elevator pitch, that value add that you have is very, very important,
yeah,
especially in times like this. The consumer is starting to realize how much we do get paid, how we get paid, and that if we're not providing value, it's not worth it. I was just on a listing appointment on Friday, and his big thing was I was like, well, what are your expectations of me as a realtor? And he just goes into, I want you to actually work because I know realtors don't actually work. Like they just get the listing, they sell the house. You need stuff like that, right? The buyer consultation, I set one for next week, first time home buyer. He asked me some really good questions right away. And he asked, how do
one
I
here,
get paid? Oh,
the
right. That.
the buyer program, the VIP buyer program, that's the stuff that you as an agent have to be able to articulate to a client. And if you don't have your value proposition prepared, it ain't gonna get any easier. And so honestly, at this point, I welcome the lawsuits. It doesn't concern me whatsoever. The first one has made the industry better. Um, I love the new world we live in. I think it's great. It rewards the agents that understand this business and know how to talk to clients and actually have their best interests in mind. So do I welcome a lawsuit just for a lawsuit? No, but I will say if the reasoning for this lawsuit is because some buyers felt their agent's commission was free, I think it's valid because I know how agents talk to their clients, especially back 2 years ago.
Yeah.
They, I think all agents were guilty of saying that at some point, like, oh, it's just included and it's part of it, it's always taken care of by the seller.
Yeah, for sure.
I've never once said it was free. But I've definitely, I mean, and it still is like 99% of the time it's included, it's paid for by the seller today. Like that, those are the stats. So it's not necessarily a lie, but you can't as an agent say it's free. Nothing's free.
No such thing as a free lunch.
That's right.
But no, I
Last,
agree. I was just going to agree that this will not be the last lawsuit we see.
no,
Like there will be more. And we just continue to educate and we'll be just fine.
there was about 5 lawsuit articles I could have chose from this week, and most of them were saying like, this is the first inning
Yep.
game. I was like, oh, that's fun. So, agents, dial it in, telling you. Um,
100%.
the last one, it's not a headline you're going to find out on the web, but you will find it here on the old Facebook. And I thought that this was pretty incredible. It was a shocking headline to me. So,
Yeah.
Lauren Rosin, first off, you're a badass. Lauren Rosen, she is a business partner of ours within EXP. And I came across this post on the 27th. So right before Thanksgiving. She has a lot to be thankful for this year. She said, my EXP revenue share bought me a yacht. What?
It's so cool.
Look at this. This is incredible.
That is a beautiful book.
This is incredible. So, okay, her retirement plan at EXP just bought her a yacht?
Uh,
Reaction?
it's amazing. My reaction is I'm blessed to be at a company that allows this to be a possibility.
To think that like, and I don't want anybody watching this, I don't want you to think that I'm like bragging about how realtors have all these awesome things. I want you to see this picture for what it is. Okay. This photo right here is because she is at a model, a brokerage that takes 50% of the money that they make, and then they give it back to their agents and they say, thank you. We want you to have a retirement. We want you to have nice things as well. We don't want to keep all your money because we know how hard you guys work. That's not, that's like 1 to 2% of brokerages in the entire world give any money back to their agents. Most just take, and that's it.
Yep.
And so, like, when I saw this photo, it just is like it says so much in one image, where it's just like, that's not, I mean, yes, it's Lauren being a badass, which she is, but it's also like, hey, she chose to align herself, her business at a place that actually like talks the talk and walks the walk, right? Hey, we'll give you half our money. Here you go. And then you have a retirement, or you can go and get cool things like a yacht, whatever you want to do. And I'm guessing, I don't know for sure, I'm guessing a yacht's not a terrible investment. I'm guessing it holds its value, or who knows. But
I'm sure.
my point is like, she was able to buy this because she's receiving enough passive income on a monthly basis from all the people she's helped at EXP. Like, everything about it is just incredible.
I couldn't agree more. It's such a cool story and such a cool thing to see. Like it's just awesome.
Yeah. So Lauren, you're a badass. That's all I gotta say. Um, but anyways, that's all I have for this week of real estate reaction. I think it was a good week, and I want to keep these short so you guys can get on with your day. But if you come across any cool articles that you want us to react to, please send them our way, and
Yeah.
then we'll do our best to kind of walk through them with you.
Yeah, for sure.
But all right, well, I hope everybody has a wonderful week. Reach out if you need anything real estate related. We're here to take care of you. Brady, we'll see you. I'm sure I'll see you soon, baby.
Probably.
All right. Have a good day, guys. See ya.